Hi, everyone, and welcome to the October Polkadot community call. As many of you know, the community call is a monthly space where ecosystem teams have a chance to share some exciting updates. We'll also discuss some of the latest Polkadot and Kusama referenda and treasury proposals. If you visit Polkadot's most recent tweet, you'll be able to find links to all of the referenda and proposals discussed here. If you have any questions for any of the speakers, leave a comment and we'll get to those at the end. And I'd just like to introduce today's speakers. So joining us are Nick from Ajuna Network. He'll be sharing details on the verification of the Polkadot Unity SDK. Alex from Equilibrium to discuss seamless transactions of liquid dot wrappers between parachains. James from SubQuery to share info around a recent collaboration they had with Nodal Network. Ben, aka Lol McShiz from Hydra to showcase their stable pools launch. Chris from Oat Network, who will share info on non-custodial price automation. Young Beef from Subsocial will talk about the launch of creator staking. And finally, Tybalt will share a simplified staking experience from Bifrost. A little disclaimer, remember to always do your own research. Nothing said here today should be construed as financial advice. And let's jump right into it and have fun. So the first speaker I'll invite up is Young Beef from Subsocial.
GM everyone, thanks for coming. I'm back again with another update about creator staking. So we've been talking about it for the last 2 months or so, the background, why we're building and all of that. It finally launched in beta mode last Thursday, and it's been a great success so far. So we've seen over 20 million subs staked, and with over 700 stakers. Due to transfers being disabled until now, I'm pretty confident that that number is a good representation of actual human beings staking. So really good to see that many people staking. With the beta, we've selected 10 creators to onboard initially to see how the system performs in a live environment. So we selected 10 creators from the Polkadot ecosystem. We have the FriendTube team who are creating a YouTube-like application on Subsocial, as well as 9 different content creators from the ecosystem covering a variety of languages. As creator staking covers not just content creators, but application creators and community creators as well. So far, the Kusamarian has the most stake by quite a bit, but it's been interesting to see where people are staking. Keep in mind that stakers do get the same rewards regardless of who they stake to, so it's basically just an incentivized vote for which creators you think deserve to be rewarded the most. So this system works as a great way to help support creators, but it also signals to the network which creators are providing the most value according to the network stakeholders. So in addition to being able to like someone's content or use their application, this is basically an extra signal to the network for curation. So we're really excited to see how this plays out. We'll be working to develop a better process for onboarding more creators. In the meantime, we have a form that you can fill out to apply to be a creator. You can find that on the staking dashboard at sub.id/creators. Going forward, we're going to be working on a so-called active staking model, ensuring that users stay engaged with the network and content, and that new creators have a chance to get staked towards, and this will solve the stake and forget problem. So if you have any sub tokens and you haven't staked yet, head over to sub.id/creators and start supporting creators from the ecosystem. Finally, a little teaser on our testnet Soon Social. We just opened a channel with HydraDX's testnet, but that's all for today. So we'll see you on chain. Thanks, everyone.
Great. Thanks very much, Young Beef. Next, we can head over to James from SubQuery.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and I'll try to keep this short. I want to talk about a recent announcement we made with Noodle. Noodle are one of the major parachains in Polkadot. They're a renowned player in the Internet of Things connectivity space, and we've been working closely with them to decentralize their application. So for those developers among us, you might know that if you're building a dApp on Polkadot or any other network in that regard, you will probably rely on an indexer. A data indexer is a process to index information from the blockchain and serve it to an app in a more performant way. So you can build more user-intuitive more responsive, more faster, and more scalable applications for your users. Provide your users basically with a better user experience. And this milestone really is that Noodle and SubQuery have worked together to add the Noodle's backend APIs onto SubQuery's brand new decentralized network, which means that Noodle is the first project that we're aware of in the Polkadot ecosystem that is now relying on a completely decentralized data indexing backend for the applications. So this is showing that Polkadot is now ready for decentralized applications, unstoppable applications, thanks to SubQuery's globally distributed network of indexes. And it means that users and clients of Noodle will benefit from fast performance, lower latency, and higher reliability due to the decentralized nature of this. So it's another step forward for Polkadot. Now that you can build your own parachains, you can now deploy applications on those parachains, but also now those applications and the dApps you build on top of those contracts can be further decentralized by decentralized indexes like SubQuery. Thank you very much.
Great, thanks for sharing the update. Next we have Ben from Hydra.
Hello, everybody. I did lose you for a split second, fortunately connected again before it came round to me. I'm Ben from HydraDX, or Lol McShiz. So HydraDX is essentially a DEX. Our key product is the Omni Pool, which puts all assets into a single pool. The idea being that it makes trades more capitally efficient. Now, what we've recently launched, you've probably, if you're into DeFi at all, or existed in this ecosystem in any way, shape or form, heard of Curve before. Now, what Curve did essentially was implement a different, more efficient algorithm for trading assets that are very similarly or closely pegged to one another. So this is great for the likes of stablecoins or different types of, for example, wrapped Bitcoin you could use as well. So we've implemented this same type of AMM into HydraDX. So our stable swap pools do actually sit outside of the Omni Pool. But what we've then done is we've then inserted those asset shares into the Omni Pool. So Omni Pool trades benefit from the increased TVL of having those stable pool shares inside the Omni Pool. And those stable pool assets can also trade with anything that's in the Omni Pool. So it allows you to use in single trades multiple different AMMs, which allows for extra efficient trades. So benefits to the user on that. Again, increased efficiency. So for lower amounts of liquidity, we can reduce slippage versus a conventional AMM. Lower slippage for the user, so they'll get more of what they expect when they're making a trade between any two assets. Still allows single asset liquidity provision. So that was one of the initial benefits introduced by Curve with their stable pool AMM, that you could just add the single asset that you wanted to. You can still do that like you can in the Omni Pool. And obviously, as long as those assets remain pegged, any LPs have a lower sort of risk profile when those assets are less prone to the likes of impermanent loss and other such things. So as another way of users providing liquidity to for their trades. So yeah, we've launched our first stable pool, which is a 4 pool with assets from using Moonbeam routed liquidity, which we hope to sort of use as a key onboarding route from external ecosystems to the Polkadot ecosystem. And we've got an OTC offer open at the moment to accumulate native USDC. Once that's full, we will launch a 2 pool with native USDT and native USDC, which will allow for low slippage swaps between external Moonbeam routed liquidity stablecoins and Polkadot ecosystem native stablecoins. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben, and congrats on the launch. Next up, we have Thibaut from Bifrost.
Hey, good morning, good evening, guys. Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you. We hear you.
Perfect. Okay, fantastic. Yeah, so I mean, hello everybody from Asia. Yeah, so I think the month of October has been pretty busy on Bifrost's side. I think our most significant development, which I think will be quite interesting on the technology front and the builders front for both substrate and EVM builders is essentially the SLPX, which is a light client smart contract palette, which has been deployed on EVM parachains such as Moonbeam, Moonriver, and Astar, which calls on the staking liquidity protocol of Bifrost via XCM, whereby users can essentially mint our liquid staking tokens, so VDOT, VKSM, VMoonbeam directly on the target chain without having to interact and to deal with the hassles of moving assets cross-chain to Bifrost. So that's been a significant development. We've then revamped our builders program in order to drive builders to come, leverage off the significant development in order to build interesting use cases, in order to sort of, bring that demand as well as, I would say incentivize people to build use cases on top of Bifrost and other EVM parachains. So a call to builders here, please, visit our SLPX dedicated website and check out our grants program there. And essentially the core team's open bounties in terms of building cool dApps and solutions on top of SLPX. A shout out as well to the team who has built the OmniLS dApp. So the OmniLS dApp, if you've not seen it so far, is omni.ls, which is basically a really clean UI leveraging off SLPX, whereby users can directly mint VDOT via one interface. All of that is called on through Bifrost. So the liquidity hub there is Bifrost. And we've been able to sort of, I would say, make these situations much easier for all types of users there on that front. So that's been really something which we've been very happy about and excited. And that also has sort of shed light to our recent development, which I think, touches upon what Ben has talked about on the OmniPool side, the stable swap side, and something which we've developed, specifically for liquid staking assets, which is our dedicated liquid staking stable swap, which is sort of like the deep liquidity hub in order to do these XCM minting, redemption, and cross swaps via the SLPX palette. And I think lastly, before I don't want to mumble on too much, but our biggest announcement, I think, of the month has been sort of announced today on Twitter, and I think more things will come out in sort of the next few days. But our VToken liquid staking assets are now supporting OpenGov, which I think is a really exciting moment for liquid staking providers. We've seen that there's more and more liquid staking providers within the ecosystem. Liquid staking is obviously a very exciting and one industry that's in compelling growth. And I think today the announcement of both VDOT and vKusama supporting OpenGov is something really interesting for users and more broadly, I think for the ecosystem in terms of our offering, adding sort of compelling features there in terms of both adding security to the network, the rewards for the user, and essentially being able to use those VDOT in OpenGov. So we will have more information coming out on that. And if there's any questions, do feel free to reach out to the team on that front. So that's in a nutshell and very quickly our recent updates on the Bifrost side.
Thank you very much. And yeah, that is an exciting update. I will also share and pin links to all of the relevant tweets from the announcements here today. So take a look at the comment section while we're chatting here. Next up, we have Alex from Equilibrium.
Hi guys, thanks very much for showing up today. I'm Alex, the CEO and the founder with the Equilibrium team. Hi from Lisbon, and today we'll be covering our recent developments and what's going on with us and our DeFi hub on Polkadot. As you guys probably know, we've been quite a while around in the ecosystem, and actually Equilibrium is known for its lending instruments on top of our parachain. So we've been creating a whole product line with different instruments. Also, Equilibrium is one of the most connected parachain in terms of established XCM channels with other parachains, and now we're excited to marry our product line and feed it a little bit with our XCM connections, specifically on the front of the liquid dot staking. So what we actually do, we currently are working on bringing liquid dot wrappers onto the Equilibrium parachain, and actually the idea is to put to let the audience to put their to let the audience put their liquid dot wrappers in good use. And actually, what we do, we provide them with the opportunity to pledge like any liquid dot wrapper available in the ecosystem and mint against these wrappers our EQD stablecoins. Just to remind you, we have this brilliant instrument of a decentralized stablecoin, which is backed to dollar tightly, and actually we built quite a lot of infrastructure around that, like launching liquidity pools for that on various AMMs out there in the ecosystem. So basically, what you can do is you can stake your dots and get liquid dot wrappers, and through XCM channels that we have with our partners at Ekal, at Bifrost, parallel to transfer these liquid wrappers that you have in your pockets to Equilibrium. Use it as collateral and get instant access to dollar liquidity, which you can then utilize through the infrastructure that we have built for EQD. So right now, just recently, we have rolled out a dedicated LSD portal, which is launched under the separate domain name. It's eq.finance, where you can basically go and in an easy way to utilize your liquid dot wrappers. You can even stake your dots through liquid stake mechanisms over there, right over there, without the need to go to any other interfaces, and utilize it for minting EQD stablecoins. Check it out. This is something that we're currently focusing on. I think that's like the thing which brings a lot of utility to liquid staking out there in the ecosystem, specifically for, I guess this use case is pretty important for liquid stake dot providers, like service providers who actually provide this type of services, because like this the direct way of how like users can basically utilize this liquid dot liquidity right away. And yeah, if you have any questions, please subscribe to our short socials or reach out to the team. Happy to address them.
Great, thanks very much. Next up, we have Chris from Oak Network.
Hey everyone, happy Halloween. I'm Christian Dirk from Oak Network, and it's good to be back on the community call. I'm really excited to share some of the recent milestones from our team, as we've had a lot going on lately. Earlier this month, we introduced our non-custodial price automation, which allows our parachain to execute cross-chain actions based on price data for both EVM and substrate chains. Using our price automation, we've created a demo with the ArthSwap exchange using A-Star's test network to complete limit orders on their exchange. For anyone unsure, a limit order is when a traditional market swap is automatically triggered once a price reaches a specific threshold. Non-custodial limit orders have been on our team's roadmap for a while, so it's exciting to see them fully functional. We have a demo available on our Oak YouTube for anyone who wants to check it out. Limit orders are just one of the use cases that our price automation is enabling at the moment. Price automation can also be used for liquidation prevention by automatically recollateralizing any pools and taking leverage positions. Traders can be protected from liquidation or even just used as traditional stop loss orders. Additionally, our price automation can also be used for other actions like cross-chain arbitrage trading. We actually have a discussion on our Discord going on about any other use cases for our price automation. So if you're interested, definitely check it out. We also have released our all-in-one insights dashboard to help our users track any automation functions that they have set up. This includes functionality for real-time task notifications. So if you're wanting to use our price automation for limit orders, you can also set up live notifications now. The insights dashboard can be also used for external sources such as SubQuery or CoinGecko data. So there's lots of integration possibilities. If you're a project or a developer interested in using our new automation functions, please check out our website. We have a bunch of resources available, including grants and guides. So thanks for listening, and hope everyone's having a good day.
Great, thank you very much. And now we have Nicholas up from Ajuna. Nicholas.
Hi, thank you for having me. Just a couple of points I want to do, just a short update on Ajuna Network, and then sort of on to the main theme I want to talk about today, the Unity SDK. In short with us, just a few days ago, season 2 of the Awesome Ajuna Avatars came to an end. The Awesome Ajuna Avatars is our, let's say, community onboarding product. In the second season, we were quite happy. Over 1,500 players participated. At some point during those first 90 days of the game, close to 15% of the total amount of transactions that were going on Kusama Network, according, at least on the Talisman wallet, were due to the Awesome Ajuna Avatars. And overall, we're very happy with the experience. Again, managing sort of to deliver an on-chain mini game, and we're on to the next one in the next few months, which we will keep you updated. My main purpose of joining today's community call is to talk a bit about the Polkadot Unity SDK. This is a collective effort from quite a few teams and individuals from both Parity and the Parachain teams in order to bring a unified solution to the ecosystem. Part 1 of our proposal was successful and has passed just, I think, last week. And we have just recently updated or uploaded in the discussion part 2 of this proposal. Part 2 is really trying, so part 1 was focused on the technical side of what needed to be done and the cost associated with it. Part 2 is where we're trying to create, let's say, a business development and marketing plan around this SDK. Our goal, and I think of the goal of all of the teams in this group, is that we have seen how successful as an ecosystem we have been in onboarding developers to build on the infrastructure layer. We want to try and now get to the application layer and try to drive this type of success. This is a first step in order to be able to create that toolkit and those necessary interfaces for developers which are working on the application layer to be onboarded on Polkadot. I think it's really important that now, with all of the changes going on also in the ecosystem, we see how different teams can act as ecosystem agents and how we can group together. And this is sort of our way of getting different teams around sort of this gaming vertical together for, let's say, a common good. Please join the discussion, add any comments that you see can be useful in pushing this narrative forward. Thank you for having me.
Great, and thanks for joining, Nicholas. With that, we will move over to discussions of recent Polkadot Kusama referenda, and to lead us to that will be Ota.
Hello, everyone. Hope you can hear me okay. Once again, I'm here to give you a rundown of what I think are the most interesting proposals on both Kusama and Polkadot for this month. As always, I will start with Kusama and then I will move to Polkadot Network, focusing on both governments and treasury proposals. On Kusama, I would like to start with the referendum 286 for the system chain slot renewal for Incointer, the common good parachain for Kusama. The Incointer's current lease was expected to end with the lease period 33 on November 14th, 2023. Hereby, the team behind the Incointer proposed to extend the Incointer system chain lease by another 48 weeks, which has been successfully approved by the community. Furthermore, recently, the RFC 22 has also been approved by the Polkadot Technical Fellowship, formalizing the system chain status of Incointer. So congratulations to the team. The next one is the referendum 297. This referendum proposes an update to the Kusama Relay chain, including its Asset Hub and Bridge Hub. These changes are sourced from the Fellowship version 1.0 release. Notably, after the recent transition of the runtime code management to the Fellowship, this marks the first release by Fellows, signifying an important step towards network decentralization as the code is handed over to the community. The key changes in this upgrade include putting HRMP channel management on general admin track, setting Polkadot Fellowship promotion and demotion periods, along with the long-anticipated unlocking of government version 1 balances, and last but not least, the inclusion of Society version 2, which brings updated membership system to the Kappa Sigma Mu Society with no technical limit on members, a new ranking and voting weight mechanism, as well as a restructured candidate voting process. The proposal was approved early yesterday and is expected to be enacted approximately in 5 days and 15-16 hours from now. On the treasury side, I would like to mention referend 277 for XCM API and XCM SDK, 5 months of maintenance and server cost coverage proposal, which is the first XCM API in the Polkadot and Kusama ecosystem. The goal is to maintain API and its core component SDK as a common good tools and allow the team to dedicate time to help other teams within the ecosystem that wish to use these tools, which as a result would remain completely free for the entire Polkadot and Kusama community. Now, I'd like to move to Polkadot and start with providing a brief update on the referendum 166, tweaking Polkadot's ideal staking rate. As many of you are aware, in anticipation of the crowd loan unlock on October 24th, there were discussions about adjusting ideal staking rate on Polkadot. The essence of this proposal was to slightly change the ideal staking rate to 60% so that the network can integrate newly unlocked dots into the staking system without impacting the staking rewards. The referendum was approved with a 99% majority, and the change was enacted approximately 2 days before the funds were unlocked from the crowd loans. For those keen on the technical details, please visit the referendum post for more information about the change. The next one is Referenda 174, proposal for USDC sufficiency on Polkadot Asset Hub. For those unfamiliar, Circle is a leading global fintech firm responsible for the issuance of USDC. Several weeks ago, the team behind took the step of registering USDC on Polkadot Asset Hub with the asset ID 1337. The aspiration of this particular proposal is to alleviate USDC status to sufficient on Polkadot. So what this means is that USDC could be used to cover transaction fees and maintain the presence on accounts without the need for the DOT. To elucidate further, assets on Asset Hub can be either sufficient or non-sufficient. While other chains allow tokens to be held by wallet address by default, on the Polkadot Asset Hub, one needs an on-chain account for the non-sufficient asset. This requires a minimum deposit of 0.1 DOT. However, if an asset is deemed sufficient, the DOT deposit is waived. And this is a very point of sufficiencies that the team wishes the Polkadot relay chain governments to grant USDC. Importantly, this proposal is still up for vote, so I encourage every community member to review and cast their votes on this matter. Moving forward, parallel to referendum Kusama for runtime upgrade, Polkadot's referendum 211 on whitelisted color track aims to also upgrade Polkadot's relay chain and its asset hub, collective chain, and bridge hub with runtimes pulled from the fellowship first release. The fellowship already greenlighted a separate referendum to whitelist this particular hash, and in case referendum 211 receives the community approval, we will see the runtime upgrade enacted around November 20th, which will give us the sufficient time to make sure everything is running smoothly on Kusama before moving to Polkadot. So similar to the USDC proposal, please make sure to review the referendum for the exact list of changes and cast your votes. Now, turning the attention to treasury proposals, we focus on recently approved referendum 179 for the Polkadot Blockchain Academy, which offers students a 5-week structured and immersive in-person educational journey. It delves deep into the conceptual foundations of blockchain while also providing hands-on experience with Polkadot and Substrate. Given the academy's role in fostering education within the Polkadot ecosystem, the community-approved retroactive funding of Academy's third wave conducted this summer at the University of California in Berkeley. This initiative successfully educated 75 participants, 55 on the developer track and 20 on the pilot founders track. For more information about the Academy and its tracks, please make sure to check out the full proposal. The next one I would like to mention is an ongoing referendum 215 seeking to continue financing of small dot development in Q4. As many of you already might know, small dot is an alternative implementation of Polkadot client focused on using as little CPU, memory, and bandwidth as possible. Because it's so light, the small dot client can be implemented within a web page in order for the web page to establish a direct connection to the peer-to-peer network on chain. The Smalldot project follows multiple main high-level objectives, which include being a correct and secure implementation, providing a good end-user and developers experience, and building the new full node implementation, among other things. This proposal for this particular quarter particularly highlights the work that has been performed and proposes the new milestones for the upcoming year. So please make sure to review and vote at your convenience. Wrapping up our list with the referendum 116 for milestone 3 of Polkadot EZA hackathons at Harvard and in London as part of multi-phase initiative that started under Government 1.0. The team has updated its proposal and incorporated comments from the community into its report to highlight its commitment to bringing more builders into Polkadot ecosystem via the EZA in-app crash course and building on the momentum created with the Harvard and London hackathons, which brought together 550 hackers and created 71 projects in total. This proposal is still up for vote, so please make sure to review it for more detailed information about the hackathons and teams participating. And with those announcements, I want to thank you all for your time. As mentioned, all the links will be provided here, so please make sure to review them and participate in ongoing referenda. Thank you.
Thank you, Ota. And just want to say thank you to all of our speakers. Please, everyone, go follow their accounts so you can get updates from the teams as they happen, and you won't have to wait until the next community call. And of course, to show your support. As Ota mentioned, there are pinned tweets at the top of this space with links out to some of the announcements as well as to the proposals and the referenda that were just discussed. And with that, we will say goodbye until the November Polkadot community call, and happy Halloween to everyone.